counting down the minutes to the first pitch of today's game.
Yes!
Who's in the starting lineup?
Come on, son, you got to get out there and take the mound. It's game time.
What does the skipper have to say?
It's an attitude, you got to be willing to defend. You got to be willing to base run, or you can't play here.
It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wortz on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome into the leadoff show live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wortz here with you, getting you caught up on all things Brewers Reds ahead of game number 2 today. Quinn Priester on the bump for the Brewers, going up against Zach Littell of the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch scheduled for 5:40 today from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Game number 122 on the season. The Brewers now up to 33 games above 500. How does the lineup look today, going for a franchise-tying 34?
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Thanks again to Lakeland University for being a part of the leadoff show now. Experience it your way at lakeland.edu. Starting with Cincinnati's lineup today, TJ Friedel will lead things off in center field. Spencer Steer at first base will bat second. Ellie De La Cruz, the shortstop, will bat third. Miguel Andujar is the DH, batting fourth. Gavin Lux in left field will bat fifth. Novelli Marte in right field will bat sixth. Matt McClain is the second baseman, batting seventh. Jose Trevino, the catcher, will bat eighth. Ke'Bryan Hayes is at third base, batting ninth, rounding things out for Cincinnati. Now for the Milwaukee Brewers, Sal Frelick leads things off in right field. Joey Ortiz, the shortstop, will bat second. William Contreras, the catcher, will bat third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Caleb Durbin at third base will bat sixth. Bryce Terang at second base bats seventh. Stuart Baroa in center field will bat eighth. Rounding things out for the Crew in left field, batting ninth, Brandon Lockridge. Well, don't forget, if you need to, cancel that free subscription, that free trial of Apple TV Plus yesterday. If you did it 2 weeks ago and then you bit the bullet on it again today, maybe you were like me, you upgraded to Apple One during that stretch there, because why not? I guess the Brewers made a great case as to why they would play on national television on a Friday night yesterday. And honestly, the $10 well spent yesterday just to watch the Milwaukee Brewers in action, because that game, can we say it was the game of the season again for the 8th time if we want to do that? I told you, stop being surprised. Start believing in this team. Just a couple of days ago, and yesterday, full example as to why that should be the case. Stop being surprised and just expect and believe at this point. How did it all go down? Let's go through it.
Did you miss the last game? Did you miss what was said after the last game? It's time to rewind. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Jacob Mizorowski returning from the IL and going up against the right-hander Nick Martinez for Cincinnati. Inning number 1 didn't go in Milwaukee's favor, as Martinez would set down the first 3 in Milwaukee's lineup thanks to a double play from William Contreras. Jacob Mizorowski struggled in inning number 1. He gave up a single to Gavin Lux that would end up scoring Spencer Steer, but he had some help on the defensive side from Stuart Baroa to limit the damage in inning number 1 with gunning this runner down at the plates.
Both those last 2 hits against the slider. That's line into center field, and that's a base hit. Little late start, Andujar coming around third. High throw, he is out.
They play every aspect of this game. Baroa here, all the way in the air, not leaving anything for chance for Contreras.
Highlights courtesy of Apple TV Plus, actually, now. And Baroa, he had a great throw, the throw beforehand that was just a little late. That one, enough to get the runner at the plate. In the top part of the second inning, Christian Yelich would answer back and tie things up 1-1.
And it's a high fly ball left field. It's carrying pretty well. Hayes is back at the wall, and it's gone. And Yelich is 24th.
Proud to say I've gotten to see that a lot over the years.
Brandon Woodruff joining the broadcast as well on that call. It was 1-1. Then the second inning would happen, and Mizorowski struggled. After getting the lead man Marte out swinging, he would hit Tyler Stevenson. He would allow a walk to Austin Hayes. TJ Friedl would walk. Bases were loaded. Then another walk from Spencer Steer that would bring a run home to score. We were in the middle of a stretch here in which 9 consecutive Cincinnati Reds would reach base after De La Cruz would double. Miguel Andujar would get a single. Gavin Lux singles. Austin Hayes single. Novelli Marte single. It was 8-1 in favor of Cincinnati, but Milwaukee would answer back immediately. In the top part of the third, while they were struggling, Brandon Lockridge, who again, phenomenal game out of Lockridge, he would single to start things off. Sal Frelick gets on base as well. There's 2 outs, and then the Brewers start doing some damage because we saw Andrew Vaughn with a massive shot to get them within 3.
And Vaughn, left center field. That ball's crushed. That ball's deep. That ball's gone. And just like that, Milwaukee is off the canvas. His 9th home run.
9th home run in 29 games with the Crew now for Andrew Vaughn. That would make things 8-5. Bryce Terang with a nice double would make it a 2-run game.
3-2, hit hard in the right field. That's going to be another run for the Brewers. Terang around first, on his way to second. Here comes Milwaukee.
Goodness indeed. 8-6 now after the second inning had all those problems. DL Hall would go 1-2-3 in the bottom part of the third, and that would be a theme in this game. The Brewers answer back. They tie things up in the fourth inning because Christian Yelich continuing to have a big day.
Yelich, there's the ground ball down the line. Scoring is Frelick. Ortiz around third. This game is tied. And Yelich has driven in 4 runs.
4 runs batted in at this point for Christian Yelich. He was not done there. In the 6th, Milwaukee would take their first lead of the game because of Yelich's second homer.
Yelich smokes that one to left. Back goes Hayes. At the wall. Gone! Have a night, Yelly. Christian Yelich. 4 for 4. 5 RBIs, 2 homers, a double, a single.
He would finish just a triple away from the cycle, but 4 hits for Christian Yelich, 2 homers with the Euchre bat for Players Weekend. Some stories just write themselves with that one, Christian. Brewers would get a little bit more insurance in the 7th after another mistake from Cincinnati.
That's in, and it gets away from Stevenson. And racing home is Lockridge, and the Brewers have a big run.
10-8 through 7. Since we talked about that inning from Cincinnati, the Brewers bullpen would shut down the next 23 batters from the Reds lineup. They did not allow another hit in the contest after the second inning. The Brewers come away with a 8-1 comeback victory where they finished 10-8. They had 17 hits in the contest. The win goes to Nick Mears. He is now 4-3 on the year. Scott Barlow picks up his first loss. He is 6-1. Trevor McGill would pick up his 29th save on the day.
Who is the MVP of the last game for the Crew? Who stood out the most? Let's find out. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM. The Fan.
29th save on the season that day, that is, for Trevor McGill. 3rd in all of baseball, I believe. Milwaukee, the MVP of the game. I mean, it's got to be Yelich. 4 for 5, 5 runs driven in, 2 homers. Christian Yelich now is up to a .272 batting average, a .349 on base percentage. and has an 825 OPS that is tied for 32nd, actually, in all of baseball right now. Big hit of the day, though, I think has to go to Andrew Vaughn. Just honorable mention. I think I honestly believed the Brewers were going to win after Andrew Vaughn made it an 8-5 game. Just all of it seemed to add up. I'm not surprised anymore. I'm not surprised anymore by this team. I got a couple of clips from Christian Yelich after the game. I want to play this first one here from Apple TV Plus, what they had in the post game yesterday, because I just think it really embodies what Milwaukee is doing all season long, and it's so raw right after that game. Here is Christian Yelich speaking with Heidi Watney on Apple TV Plus.
Christian Yelich, 13 straight wins. What do you think is behind this magical run?
Taking it day to day, and we compete really hard every night, and we don't care what the score is. We're gonna play all night, and it's a big credit to the guys.
Yeah, down 8-1. Comebacks are nothing new for this squad. What makes you guys such a resilient bunch?
We were just saying that let's chip away. Let's make this thing interesting. We've got 7-8 innings left to play. Let's make it interesting. Let's make this thing close. Let's get it within a swing, and we don't need to get it all back here in this one inning. Let's just make this thing interesting, and we're going to play to the whistle. So that's exactly what we did.
You made it interesting with your bat, specifically the Bob Uecker bat that you had made for Players Weekend last year. 2 home runs tonight. Do you like that with ice and water bottles in there?
I know, right? Well, we had to dodge most of it, but using the Uke bat, I didn't know if I was going to use it or not, and then Shog, our equipment manager, was like, dude, you got to do it at least one time. Hit a homer with it. We both got a good little laugh about, man, you would have thought that was pretty awesome, but then he would have probably liked the jam shot double better, just because that was Uke, but go figure. That guy's always up for a good time and a good joke. So, of course, that happened when you're using his bat, and it's just a great win for us. We just battled, and we got contributions from so many people, and that's what our team's about. Just that fight and fighting, and we have a big belief in that room that we're always going to be in the game, and really, really proud of the guys tonight.
There might be some Uecker magic in that bat. You might have to stick with it all weekend. You were triple shy of the cycle, and you have 3 cycles against the Reds. Do you know that?
Yeah, everyone was giving me a hard time about it in the dugout. They were pretty sure, they were just all waiting for it. But that's so hard to do. You got to get lucky. You got to hit the ball to the right part of the park, and they were all definitely aware of that.
How about the job from the bullpen tonight? I know Miz is the headline grabber and usually so great for you guys, but 23 straight retired by your bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, they did a great job, just passing the baton, and, those guys have been huge for us all year, and they step up. You guys are put in a situation. DL, he had to battle through some innings, but we got him some runs there, but it was just telling him go throw 0 for us, and we're going to win this thing, and that's exactly what he did, and we just continued to battle all night.
It's August 15th. You guys are undefeated this month. Are you unstoppable?
All right, listen to this answer right here, because you heard how Yelich sounded, right? And if you watched this after, you could tell he was very joyous and very in the moment, loved everything that was happening. The Uecker questions are all great. Listen to this tone change.
No, we don't care about that. We haven't accomplished a single thing yet. We haven't won anything. We're just one day at a time. It doesn't matter what we've done. We still have a long way to go. There's a lot of games left in this season, and we're just taking it day by day. So, we don't care about all that other stuff that happened before. We're just about tonight and playing as hard as we can.
Bigger goals. Thank you, Christian.
You got it. Thanks.
There is Christian Yelich speaking to Heidi Watney on Apple TV Plus yesterday. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you, getting you caught up. All things Brewers Reds ahead of first pitch today at 5:40. And I thought that interview was great. And I know I have some other sound here from Adam McCalvey when he talked with Christian Yelich after. But, man, I love this team's attitude of why worry about yesterday, why worry about tomorrow, because that impacts today. That will get in the way of what you need to do today if you are thinking any other day. And Christian Yelich is leading that from the top down right now with this Brewers squad. And it's continuing to showcase that's how you come back down from 8-1 in a ball game. That's how you put up 23 straight batters and take them all down right after on the bullpen side. You are thinking about today. You are not worried about what's going to happen after or what happened before. And the Brewers just embody that with Christian Yelich as well. I want to get you guys some sound here as well from the manager, Pat Murphy, because he spoke, and obviously everyone pointing to Christian Yelich using the Euchre bat during Players Weekend. And again, I don't know where your thoughts are with it, but magic maybe isn't your thing, or faith isn't really your thing, but maybe there's no coincidences, because that was pretty magical what you saw Christian Yelich able to do with the Bob Uecker bat. Pat Murphy spoke a little bit about it after the game. Here is the manager after the 10-8 victory for Milwaukee yesterday.
You've been reminding us how much baseball is left. Does that change after a game like that? Do you have to marvel?
41 games left. I'm not yet thinking about tomorrow, but no, I'm just proud of our guys. That every time you get the opportunity to show character, every time you get the opportunity to show there's a lot of game left, just keep going, one foot in front of the other, and just I think it's a team with baseball character. We had 2 key guys out. Really, we got 5 key guys out, but we got 2 guys that have been hanging with us. We all know Churio's out, but to have Baroa and Lockridge show up and fill in, and it's just great. That the other guys pick him up. And what can you say about Yelich? He told me on the bench, straight up, it was 8-1. He said, "We're going to win this game." Now, how do you make that statement? He looked at me and goes, "We're going to win this game," and then it happened. It's just like the guys believe, and they're a great group, and they play together, and they don't get too down when things don't go their way, and next man up mentality. Nobody in the team knows the Burrow kid. He came and threw a guy out at the plate first inning, and Lockridge got 3 hits, and really ever since Breckenridge has been here, he doesn't know any different. It's like, this is how we play, So the pitching staff has normally, carried us in so many occasions, but it was time for the position players to step up. Sal makes a great diving catch. The defense was great. Burrow's play, Sal's play. The unnecessary dive by Sal. I kid him about it, but he's a great defender, and we did the little things, but pitching staff, Miz, wasn't ready, and his delivery wasn't great. The mound wasn't to his liking. He was emotional. He felt it. That's part of him growing in the game and trying to learn how to get by, even though I don't feel right or I'm not in sync. D.L. Hall came in and gave up some really tough fisted singles, and really almost uncanny to give up those runs, and then settled down and did a good job innings 4 and 5, and turned it over to the other guys. We used 5 other relievers after that, or 5. Yeah, 6 total. 6 total. So that was just a great job by them. They were all locked in. Once we took that lead, they were locked. And, credit. Vaughn again. AAA, out of the AAA cooler. And then all of a sudden he's banging balls and we come to expect it. Ortiz is still not punching out. He's battling. What can you say? Sal and Bryce every day give us something. But Yellow's performance tonight, it's incredible. In Contreras, his last at bat is his best at bat, and he catches 150, at least 150, 60 pitches, and calls a game, and doesn't get enough credit. But Yelich, jeez.
To do it with the Euchre bat, 2 homers, triple like the side.
Get me started on that. It's
how do you even take in a moment like that?
Yeah, it's hard to even go there right now. I can't get there right this second, if you don't mind. But again, if we don't recognize that this team has put together this stretch, that's it's the guys in there, man. You can give everybody else all the credit you want and pretend like it's this and that. It's those guys in there and the decisions they're making, and the way the way they're showing up to play every day, and it's important to them. They're not interested in just playing until August 20th. You know what I mean? They want to play. They want to keep playing. And, we're going to go through stuff, I'm sure. And we're already going through injuries left and right. One of the best bats in the league last year at the end of the year was Jackson Churio. He hasn't played for us in how many games?
13
games. So
he was the problem.
Not exactly.
Well, I was going to say, do you have a decision to make on Miz, or is it back out there next time?
It's back out there. It'll be fine. He'll learn from it. This is maybe the best thing that could have happened is he pitches poorly and realizes he's got to, get in a groove a little bit, throw the ball where he wants to, and we get to come away with the win. And his team picked him up. He needs to realize that his team picked him up. Mm-hmm. So now you do what you need to do when he's in the middle of form.
We've kind of touched on the pitching a little bit there, but just what did you make of the way that they came in? 23 straight guys.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, finished after the Hayes single in the second. They got everyone out.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Last 2 outs of the second.
Grumman's never wrong, so.
Yeah. Just retired in order.
Yeah. It's true. Did we score in the third? We came right back in the third.
Yeah. You scored 5 in the third.
Just what did you make of
unbelievable performance? Unbelievable. The guys were on it. They've been on it all year. They've been unsung. The bullpen's just been unsung. The job that the pitching coaches do, Henderson and Hook. I mean, it's just clear, calm, convicted. I mean, it's really nice, and they don't get nearly enough credit, so they deserve it. Our decisions are easy. There's no I didn't want to do that. I trust them, and they're great.
Mark, with the Uke bet, I know you said you didn't want to go there with thinking about Yelich today, but how often just do you, at the ballpark, does you come to your mind?
Oh yeah, I mean, his picture's all over my office. I'll text with Judy every once in a while. The stories, and every time you're in a visiting town, the other reporters or announcers come by and say hi and tell a story about you. And just knowing when we talked the first day we talked this season, we talked about losses, and we mentioned Adames because he was such a part of the heartbeat of this team last year that won the division by 10 games. And then we talked about Devin Williams, who had been such a great reliever of the year for two years. And we talked about, but the biggest loss we have. We talked about the loss in Milwaukee versus the Mets when Alonso hit the homer. We talked about that, and we talked about it was devastating. But the loss of Uke and what that meant to the organization, to whatever, that we just have to convince ourselves he's with us, and that, and I think it's true, I think, heroes will be remembered and legends never die, and somehow it seems like, he's watching over us. I said he's not going to miss a game, so he definitely was here tonight. He proved it, special.
There is the manager, Pat Murphy, speaking to the media after the game. That audio courtesy of Adam McCalvey. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you, getting you caught up. Brewers, Reds, ahead of game 2. And, Murphy said it at the end, right? That's just unbelievable what they could do. How could the story be any better? And there was a lot of storylines in this game where it could have went sideways, right? Miz gets blown up, and D.L. Hall had to get through some adversity in the game. But this team just picks each other up. And whether or not you think there's something else leading that along the way, you can't deny how awesome that story is. That Christian Yelich, who doesn't get to use the Euchre bat last year, you remember that he gave one of these to Euchre. And they took pictures with it, and then Yelich had to have the back surgery right before Players Weekend. And he was unable to use the bat when Euchre was around. First game he can use it, 4 for 5, 2 homers, triple away from the cycle. Story writes itself, right? That's what it is. I want to say something here, though, that Murphy brought up as well. Do not take away from the guys in the dugout, because they now are, I guess, being recognized a little bit more. But this is a stretch now, 52-16 over the last 68 games. And we all know the streak right now that's going on for Milwaukee, as they've tied now a franchise record 13 in a row, trying to get to 14 in a row. But this is the month of August right now for the Crew. OPS leaders in the month of August. Christian Yelich has a 12.28 OPS in 12 games. Bryce Terang, 11.71 in 12 games. Andrew Monasterio in 6 games, 11.54. 11.36 for Isaac Collins in 11 games. William Contreras, who has not missed a game, 13 games, 10.50. Sal Frelick, 10.38 in 9 games. Joey Ortiz, 9.65 in 13 games. Andrew Vaughn, 9.45 in 13 games. It's the guys in the locker room as well. I don't know why you would be doubting them anymore at this point. The Brewers in August have been the best team in baseball, even though they have been and they are now altogether this season. In August, what Milwaukee has been able to do, and during this stretch now that has reached 13 straight games, that ties the 1987 record, they're unreal. They are unreal right now. Even looking at some team stats, right? In just the month of August for the MLB, the Brewers are first in baseball. I'm gonna go the top. We'll do the top 5. All of baseball. The Athletics have scored 72 runs in the month of August. The Marlins have scored 73 runs in the month of August. They are 4th. The Blue Jays have scored 77 runs. They are 3rd. The Diamondbacks have scored 78 runs. They are 2nd. Milwaukee is first with 113 runs in the month of August right now. As a team, they are hitting 329. That is the best in baseball. Second is 292. As a team, 400 on base percentage. That is first. Second, Padres, 349. As a team, 567 slugging. That is first. Toronto second at 507. And as a team, their OPS, 967. Second, Toronto Blue Jays, 854. The Brewers team could win MVP most seasons. The Brewers team, 26 homers, that's the most. 32 doubles, that's the most. 158 hits, that's the most. They're getting better. That's the crazier part. They are getting better. So stop being surprised and just keep believing. That's what it is right now with Milwaukee. Coming up, we're going to get you some of your best bets over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll get a nice little parlay going for the people. Drew Wagner is going to join the program at 5:15 as well to pick his brain about Game 2 underway. It's Milwaukee-Cincinnati. Quinn Priester going up against Zach Littell in Game number 2. It's the leadoff show live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Let's get the latest on today's odds for the game. What's the best way to go? Let's check in with our expert from the Potawatomi Sportsbook to find out. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome back to the Leadoff Show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Milwaukee's lineup today, in case you missed it in the first segment, Sal Frelick will lead things off. He's in right field. Joey Ortiz bats second, plays shortstop. William Contreras, the catcher, will bat third. Christian Yelich, the DH, will bat fourth today. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Caleb Durbin at third base will bat sixth. Bryce Terang at second base bats seventh today. Stuart Baroa, the center fielder, will bat eighth. Brandon Lockridge in left field, batting ninth. Time to get to our betting odds, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Austin Herdina on vacation. We'll get someone on again tomorrow. Don't you worry about this to get a little expert, but I am very capable as well. And yesterday, I believe, hit again, as it was Elly De La Cruz to get a hit, Christian Yelich to record an RBI, and it was Brewers' money line at plus 410. So we have been giving out bangers all season long, and it hit again yesterday. Betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook today. Brewers money line minus 121 today. Minus 1.5 will get you plus money at plus 133. And the over-under is set at 9 today for Milwaukee and Cincinnati. I like the under. I think Milwaukee's offense has been just incredible. And I don't know how it's sustainable at this point. But 9 seems like quite a bit, and I think Brewers pitching gets back into a rhythm today as well, because Quinn Priester had a really rough outing his last time around. If you remember, last time Quinn Priester went out, it was 4 1/3, 10 hits, 6 earned runs in his contest against the New York Mets on August 10th. It's probably been his worst outing since Chicago back in April when he gave up 7 earned runs. But Priester has been solid all season long. He is actually still looking for his 11th consecutive winning decision tonight, which would break a franchise record, as he is currently tied with Chris Bosio and Kel Eldred of the 1992 season, who both reached the number 10. That is what Quinn Priester is sitting on. So I will take that in favor of Quinn Priester with the under today. As far as recording a hit, I really like looking at Bryce Terang. I think Bryce Terang keeps things going today. I think he could go yard, but we'll say he records a hit just for everyone's sake today, to keep it on the lower side. And then why not? Why don't we double down on some Quinn Priester love? We'll take the over on 3.5 strikeouts. It is under of 9 today. It is Bryce Terang to record over a half a hit. Quinn Priester to record over 3.5 strikeouts. It'll pay plus 350 over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Now, if you guys have not been paying attention as to what's going on at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, they now have shuttles to and from American Family Field every home game the rest of the season. All you have to do, spend some money in the sportsbook, whether you want to go grab something to eat, if you want to grab something to drink, or if you place a $5 or more wager on any contest at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, they'll hook you up with a wristband. They take you to the game. If you come back on the shuttle as well, which all you got to do is hang on to that wristband you have, you get slot play on the way back. They give you the ride back. It's free parking at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And quite frankly, place a bet on the Brewers to win and put $5 on that. You'll probably make money at this point with the rate that things are going for Milwaukee this season at this point, especially too. Also, fantasy football drafts happening there. Make sure you guys go to the Potawatomi Sportsbook website, click on some reservations, and you can get in contact with Austin Herdina, who joins us each and every day. When he's not on vacation, he's enjoying his cruise right now as well. You can get him in touch with him to make your fantasy football drafts happen at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That's super exciting. And any other live events. I know they have a UFC card tonight. That's why everyone's kind of scrambling around. Super busy night for the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Seriously, if you guys haven't been there yet, I don't know what you're doing. They do a great job. They're very hospitable. It's always a good time. The Potawatomi Sportsbook. The parlay for the people. One more time today. The under of 9, Bryce Terang to record a hit, Quinn Priester to record over 3.5 strikeouts. It'll pay plus 350, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
The key to building a winner in baseball is a strong minor league system. Who are the names we should know? How did they play in their last game? Ironworkers Local 8 brings you Building a Winner. Be a cowboy of the sky. Apply now at IWL8.org. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Yes, time for another Building a Winner feature presented by Ironworkers Local 8. Thanks again to Ironworkers Local 8 for being a part of the leadoff show all season long. Some news around the minors yesterday. A lot of rehab assignments going around and some exciting play, of course, in the low level. Just maybe not in favor of Milwaukee's farm by any means. Let's start it off with AAA.
Nashville Sounds.
Nashville yesterday picked up a win 6-2 over the Durham Bulls. Jake Bauers back on rehab assignment, hit a homer. It was an absolute tank, guys. What else would Jake Bauers? What do you expect from Jake Bauers at this point? He hits tanks, he strikes out. I don't know what else to tell you. The Brewers dealt with that all the time, it felt like, at some point. And Jake Bauers is doing exactly the same. His second rehab game with AAA Nashville clubbed a 2-run homer. In the third inning, he also reached base on a walk in the game. Jefferson Cuero, 2 for 4, had a double and a homer with 2 runs driven in. Drew Avon's 2 for 5. As Nashville moves to 64-52. They are 20-23 in the second half. So 7 games back in the second half standings. Not sure postseason play is going to be an option for Nashville, but closing out very nicely.
Biloxi Shuckers.
Biloxi lost 10-3 over Columbus yesterday. Garrett Spain was 2 for 5, had a double. Matthew Wood as well, 1 for 3 with 2 runs driven in. And Blake Burke just continuing to do damage as he has moved up now with Biloxi. He was 2 for 4. Luis Lara, the Brewers' new number 12 prospect after the updated rankings came out. He went 2 for 3 in the game, had a stolen base, walked as well. Second half standings, 19-24 right now. Doesn't matter. They clinched a postseason berth with the first half standings, 61-51 now for Biloxi.
Wisconsin Timber Rattlers.
Timber Rattlers yesterday, Luis Pena, 1 for 5, but a big 3-run homer. Andrew Fisher has been acclimating very well to Wisconsin as well. He went 2 for 4, had a double in the game, but they lost 16-5 to the Great Lakes Loons. That is the high A affiliate of the LA Dodgers, and it didn't get much prettier in Carolina.
Carolina Mudcats.
The Mudcats yesterday, while Jose Anderson was 2 for 4 with a homer and Josh Adamczewski was 2 for 4 with a run, even Eric Patanti picking up a hit, they lost 20-3 to Fayetteville yesterday. The Woodpeckers absolutely getting after it against Carolina. Was not close. The Mudcats still in first place, however, in the second half standings, 25-18, but just by a game. They have lost their last 3 games in a row now. Maybe a common denominator of no Jesus Mate and Luis Pena there, but it has not been a good bounce back so far for Carolina with those two moving up to high A. Brett Wachowski will pitch for Biloxi today. Ryan Britchard pitches for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, and Ethan Dortche's in the process of pitching at 6 o'clock as well today for Low A Carolina. Dominican Summer League, a victory for Blue yesterday and a victory for Gold as well. Now 28-24-1 for DSL Blue and 24-29 for DSL Gold. This Building a Winner feature presented by Ironworkers Local 8, building Milwaukee's future one beam at a time. Coming up, we're going to talk to Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports on the other side of this break. We'll pick his brain on how he reacted to Game 1 and what should we expect for Game 2 against Cincinnati. The Brewers, as I mentioned, they are 33 games over 500 right now. If they get to 34, it would tie a franchise record for the highest above 500 at any point. That was back in 2021. Team was 91-57 at a point. The Brewers continuing to showcase how great they are on the road right now. Best record in baseball of 35-24, an 8-game road winning streak. also a game shy of a franchise record 9. That was back in the magical 2008 season. And yesterday's comeback victory is the third, tied for the largest comeback, with down 7 runs on the road in Brewers history. We'll break it all down with Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports on the other side. It is the leadoff show live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
What's the latest on the crew? Let's go inside the clubhouse with Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports on the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan. Inside the clubhouse is brought to you by Focus Baseball. Sign your kids up now for July open tryouts at focusbaseball.com, ages 6 to 17.
Welcome back to the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Before we get over to Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports, one more time, Milwaukee's lineup today for Game 2 against Cincinnati. Sal Frelick will lead things off. He's in right field. Joey Ortiz, the shortstop, will bat second. William Contreras, the catcher, will bat third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Caleb Durbin, the third baseman, will bat sixth. Bryce Terang at second base bats seventh. Stuart Baroa in center field batting eighth. Brandon Lockridge rounds things out. He is the left fielder batting ninth. Joining the show now, as he does each and every day, you can follow his work at Forbes Sports at the Fan Milwaukee. You can follow him on Twitter at @ByAndrewWagner. It is Drew Wagner joining us here on the Fan Guest Hotline. Drew, how are we doing today, my friend?
We're doing all right, man. We're doing all right.
Drew, yesterday watching that game, I don't want to make sports sound any bigger than it really is in my life, but I mean, like, beautiful comes to mind, amazing, but not surprised, Drew. I told you I'm no longer surprised by this team because Pat Murphy said it himself in postgame yesterday. It's the guys in the clubhouse. It's the guys that go out each and every day now. They continue to do this, Drew. Were you surprised at all by the result yesterday?
I mean, honestly, I can't say that I am. When they went down 8-1, I pretty much figured, okay, this is probably going to be the end. And I remember saying, like, wouldn't be shocked if they came back. And I started dozing off a little bit on the couch. The next thing I know, I wake up, and there it is. It's all tied up. This team just keeps getting it done. We can sit there and say, it's magic, it's luck. It's just that at the end of the day, people need to start accepting the fact that this is a really good baseball team.
A really good baseball team indeed, Drew. And, for us to hear just so anti really anything crazy at the deadline, and now in the 13 games in August, Drew, the Milwaukee Brewers have scored 113 runs. That is the most of any team in baseball in August. They have 158 hits, the most of any team in August. A 967 OPS as a team, batting 329 as well. We keep saying it's not sustainable, Drew, but that's maybe the best 2 weeks in Brewers team history at this point.
Without a doubt, and it's ironic that they have not lost since the trade deadline. And how many people out there on Twitter and social media and were calling into the show saying this is an unserious team that doesn't care about winning, did nothing to address their offensive woes, blah, 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 blah. Sell the team, Mark, and look at you now.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of Shaq's rap to Kobe way back in the day. It's incredible. I mean, these guys are hitting the cover off the ball. They haven't lost since the deadline. It is by far the best stretch of baseball in Brewers history.
Yeah, Drew Wagner joining us here on the Leadoff Show. Follow him on Twitter at @ByAndrewWagner. Drew, yesterday, another big storyline is Yelich with the euchre bat. And I know we've been talking about euchre all season long, right? And whatever you might think, but how can a story write itself any more perfectly than what happened yesterday, where, first of all, in his first at-bat with it, he goes yard. That's already enough. Then it's a 4-for-5 day, 2 homers, 5 RBIs. Yelich has been incredible all season. He has an 825 OPS now. Everyone would have signed up for that. He's going to hit 30 home runs. He stayed healthy. Yesterday, speak about that moment, because it was a big topic that they asked Murphy, they asked Yelich about, but how magical, for lack of a better word, was that moment for Yelich to do that with the euchre bat?
I mean, it was pretty cool. It definitely helps the narrative. But listen, I tweeted this yesterday. There are 3 foregone conclusions in life: death, taxes, and Christian Yelich punishing Cincinnati Reds pitchers. Yes. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, the guy has just been lights out against them throughout his entire career. The thing that's lost in yesterday, everyone's making a big hubbub about the euchre bat, is yesterday was a year to the day that Yelich announced that he was undergoing the surgery, effectively ending the season. Remember, he hadn't played in the second half, or maybe for a game in the second half. But yesterday marked 1 year since he announced he was having surgery. You talk about some hot takes. I remember a lot of people complaining that he quit on this team, or he was roasted, he was done, he was never going to be the same. Dude's going to have a 30 home run, 100 RBI season. That's pretty impressive. That just goes to show, this back has been an issue for a long time. And he's played through it. He's had some good times since, but he looks like he's as close to full strength as he's been in a long time.
Yeah, and he is the captain right now. Whether or not that is defined in the clubhouse or not, everyone knows he is. And Christian Yelich has been phenomenal all season long and has been on an absolute tear in the month of August during this stretch for Milwaukee as well. And Drew, I want to bring up another point in his post game. I'm not sure if you were able to see it, but then they were kind of asking about him. The word was unstoppable from Heidi Watney, right? You guys haven't lost in August. Are you guys unstoppable? And Yelich immediately goes to, we don't care about that. We do not care about this. It doesn't matter what we have done in the past. We are looking forward because we want to play more meaningful games than an August 15th game on Apple TV Plus, right? That is been this mantra now with Milwaukee. Have you seen or felt a clubhouse like this for Milwaukee in years past? You've been in there, in a bunch of those clubhouses now year after year, but this year it just feels like they are so dialed in and so worried about tonight and today with this team. I haven't seen anything like it, at least felt it as a media personality and a fan over the years that looks anything like this clubhouse in years past, Drew.
No, and it's really an extension of the last, I'd say 2 years, going back to last year, too, because they had that same singular focus. Win tonight has been the mantra since the start of last season. I think it's even more so this year once they started just accumulating victories and accumulating success and having dug out of that early season hole and bounced back from all that adversity. It's a legit we don't care attitude. They know that they're a good baseball team. They don't care if anyone else agrees with them. They don't care if anyone else notices it. They're just going to go out and keep doing it. It's a very us against the world approach. It's a very chip against the shoulder approach, but without that outward tapping your shoulder, pay attention to me type thing. It's very humble as well. It's humble arrogance, I think, is the best way to put it.
I like that. Humble arrogance with this Milwaukee Brewers team right now. And you need a little bit of that, obviously, to compete. The arrogance, the cocky, whatever it is, confidence. You need a little bit of that, but it never exudes. And it's never, last year you remember Milwaukee fighting in the first series, right? They're not taking it out on other teams. They're always just interacting and hyping up each other. It's really just they're so fun to watch. If you are not a Brewers fan even, you cannot deny how fun they are to watch just with how close the clubhouse really seems to be. And Drew, one more thing about yesterday. The bullpen. I know Miz struggles, right? And that's all concerning. And obviously DL Hall, he came in and didn't quite put the fire out, but then he got the last two guys out in the second inning. And on top of it, they retire the last 23 batters in the ball game yesterday. Drew, they can't win the ball game if they don't do that either.
Yeah, it was all hands on deck thing again. DL Hall's been really good this year in that kind of hybrid role. We kind of forget that he is one of those guys in the mix to be a starter in the future. And who knows, maybe he becomes an elite reliever a la Josh Hader in the past. But right now, what the bullpen has been doing, especially yesterday, that was incredible. They came in and they shut the door. They clamped it down. There was no room for the Reds to wiggle. That was as dominant performance as I've seen from the bullpen in a long time.
Drew Wagner joining us here on the Leadoff Show. Follow him on Twitter @byAndrewWagner. Drew, let's talk about today. Quinn Priester takes the bump after maybe one of his rockier starts. You got to go all the way back to May 2nd when he gave up 7 earned runs against the Cubs in that dreadful Tyler Alexander opener game. He gave up 6, though, last time against the Mets after a day where the bullpen gets heavily used, where DL Hall, Nick Mears, Aaron Ashby, Abner Uribe, Jared Koenig, and Trevor McGill all get used from Pat Murphy. Is this turning out or shaping up to where it needs to be a bounce-back start for Quinn Priester to save some of the guys in the pen?
Yeah, that'd definitely be ideal. He's proven time and time again that he could do it the last time out, notwithstanding. He's about as good of a bet for a deep start as you have in that starting rotation.
Yeah.
He's probably the best bet to go out there and make a deep start today. I think last time out was just a hiccup. It was you're going to have games like that. But I would feel fully confident that he can go out there and just go right back to shoving today.
Yeah, he's going to need to. And again, last time he gave up 7 earned runs. It took all the way until August 8th for him to give up more than 4 earned runs rather in a contest. And of course, the Brewers have not lost a game in which he has pitched since the 24th. Wow, 24th of May for Quinn Priester. Drew, thank you so much for jumping on today. Have a good rest of your night. We'll do it again tomorrow, my friend.
Bright and early. Talk then.
Yes, sir. Drew Wagner jumps off the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law Offices. One call. That's all. Let's get to our last thing before we get out of here today. Keys to the game.
How does the Crew win today's game? Who needs to step up? Let's find out with the keys to the game. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Should be noted as well, I forgot to mention this earlier, probably bad hosting by me, that DL Hall was placed on the 15-day IL today. Grant Anderson was recalled again from AAA Nashville, so be a couple of weeks before you see DL Hall back, but assume that Aaron Ashby will resume and take on a larger role with that leverage relief type appearances. And Grant Anderson, one day recalled, come right back to Cincinnati. Keys to the game, I don't even know what to say with this team anymore, because I just expect them to dominate today so much more than the other team each and every day. But if I have to point to someone, it's going to be a bounce back for Quinn Priester as well. As I mentioned, his last time out, 10 hits, 6 earned runs, just 2 strikeouts in the contest against the New York Mets on August 10th. Quinn Priester's been your guy all season long. Maybe not the ace, but steady, constant for Milwaukee all season long. He gets back on track with that again tonight. That is today's key to the game. That's going to do it for us here at The Fan. First pitch tomorrow at 12:40 from Cincinnati, so it'll be an 11:30 leadoff show. We will be back then. It is Jose Quintana going up against Andrew Abbott. Both have been very solid lefties for their respective clubs this season. But tonight it is Quinn Priester versus Zach Littell for game number 2. Brewers looking to go for their 14th straight victory on the season. Live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 up in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Don't forget, send them home.